Marshall Pruitt here in Le Mans with Garage 56, and who do we have? Jenson Button. Everything you dreamed of as a child, to go back to Le Mans on a big old American Camaro V8 after months and months and months of development. Finally, first session out here. Tell me about the experience being in a Camaro ZL1 Cup car, tuned for Le Mans, among hypercars, GT3, you name it. What was that experience like?
Well, first of all, it's awesome to actually be out on track. It feels like the week has been so long already. You know, there's so much talk. Can't wait to get the car out. We start the car up, and people come in their droves to watch the car just start up. So to get out on track was a lot of fun. You know, I've driven this track before. It's pretty spectacular, but I've only driven it in a prototype. So suddenly you're in a quite a heavy car, and you're arriving at Indy, and it's like, oh, I can't forget I'm not in a prototype anymore. But I have to say, it's pretty fun to drive. It's really fun to drive. You know, I think a lot of people were scared at how slow it would be through the Porsche curves. You know, we had the driver's briefing yesterday, and they were going to wave a white flag every time someone came up behind us, which is like there's a broken car on track. But high speed's great. Really, really surprised. Bit of understeer, but it's a great base. Braking is probably the area that's the toughest for us. It's a big thing to try and stop into these chicanes, but loving it. It's so fun to be out there with GTEs, as you said, with the prototypes, the LMP2s. It's such a special place, and we're really adding something to the 100th year here.
So the white flag of surrender, you can put that away. That's not involved with anything we're doing. So
you'll love this. Ben Keating, I was talking to a mate of mine on the phone yesterday with all us there, and Ben Keating comes over with a napkin with Garage 56 on it, waving it. I was like, I'm going to get you. Coming for you, Ben.
So this is a missile. Lots of horsepower, can certainly motor down the straights. Got a bit of extra sidewall height than maybe what you're used to. Again, stereotypes, folks might think this can be a dragster and not much more, but all the work that's gone into this is to make it a quality car through the corners. Tell me about getting more laps, leaning on it more. What's it telling you? Is it telling you, here's the limit, don't go? Is it comfortable if you get there?
It's kind of funny because it's probably doing everything people don't think it's going to do. You know, you think it's going to blow down the straight at 200 miles an hour. It doesn't. You know, we're slower than the GTE cars in the straight. You know, the first part of the straight, we're really good at getting up to speed because there's so much torque. But as you can see, the rear wing, or spoiler, is like a barn door on the back of it. So at some point, it stops moving forward at a fast rate of knots. And that's when the GT car is actually quicker than us. We make up time, I think, first part of acceleration. We don't lose as much as what everyone thinks in high-speed corners, a bit of understeer in the car. But I actually think mechanically the grip is pretty good. So once you've braked into the corner, it turns in well, get on the throttle, and you can use the power that we have from the big muscly V8. So it's making up time in a very different way than what everyone expected. And I think the ACO were worried about massive straight line speed, really slow in high speed corners, and we're going to mess with the GTEs. But no, I don't think we are.
No.
And for me, this is such an exciting project. It really is. And I've had a lot of drivers say, why are you doing this? What do you get out of it? Fun. What's the point otherwise? If you're not smiling, what's the point of doing it? So.
Whether it's F1, prototypes, off-road, Baja, NASCAR, why would you want to do this? Because you're the exact guy to want to do this stuff. So let's talk times quickly. So the goal, the ACO said, we'd love to see you in the 3-minute 54 range. Already test day first session, 3:56s. Obviously, there's more time to be found. So I'd say everything's right in that window, Jenson. But why don't we close on this? Going to have another session here to close this day. Tell me about the reaction, though. You're fairly popular. I don't know if you know that, but folks love to look in on you and your life and what you're doing. At least from my observance. Good Lord, your social media is exploding with folks wanting to know about this. Tell me about this inpouring of interest.
Yeah, there's a lot of interest, and you know, I've always tried to do different things with, you know, things that I love and things that are fun for me. And as you said, racing lots of different things around the world. And this is the one that people are most surprised at. Maybe the trophy truck as well, but people are just really interested. I think that's the reason why we're here, right? It's to bring in a new fan base from Europe. A fan base that follows endurance racing, and they're going to see this thing flying by on the straight, and it's going to blow their minds. And that's another reason for doing it. You know, I went to the first test in Sebring, got invited down there by Rocky and Jimmie, and I stood there, and they said, go out and watch it on track. And I walked out, watched it go by, and first of all, how it visually looks, it's so big and muscular, but also how it sounds. And immediately that childhood smile came when I saw my first sort of car ever. And I was like, right, sign me up. I want to go and do this. And I think that's the feeling you get from this car, is that childhood sort of smile and giggle really when it comes past, because it just blows your mind, the size of it, and also how quick it is out on track. You know, we were second quickest of the GTEs then. It was 200ths off the quickest GTE on our first time here at Le Mans. So yeah, and I think this team, I mean, extraordinary. It really is. It's like a Formula One team, you know, in terms of what they can do with a car, and I think you're seeing that right now.
Hendrick Motorsport, one of the great prides of America. We're adopting you're American here for a week or two, Jenson. I hope you don't mind. We'll tell Rocky as well, but obviously we're here to celebrate NASCAR, the heritage coming here for the first time in 1976. Beyond all those things, Jenson touched on the exact perfect grace note. Fun. We're enjoying ourselves. This is about passion, competition as well. We'll try and beat up on some of those GTE cars here some more, but nonetheless, meeting every objective and more. Very first test day with Garage 56.